I need you to understand the humanitarian problem for not only those who are coming across the border, the trafficking that is happening, the drug lords and the cartels that are being empowered and are just going to destroy lives, but also the lives of American citizens, especially those who live right on the border, Del Rio, Texas. I've seen video of Del Rio, and what's happening there, the grocery stores look like they're from the Soviet Union. There's nothing on the shelves. How are regular Americans supposed to help if they can't help themselves? I want to introduce you to the mayor, Bruno Lozano. I think, do you go by Ralphie?
Locally, I go by Ralph. That's my nickname, but people just call me Bruno these days. So you're good to call me Bruno. It's okay.
So Bruno, I want to talk to you not just about politics. I want you to describe to me what is happening in your city and what's happening to the people who are law-abiding citizens in your city.
Right. So, the images that you were describing earlier, that was taken during the winter storm, and that was immediately affecting our community because we didn't have resources for our own citizens. And that week, I got notice that we were going to have migrants being released into our community. And it's just extremely unfortunate that I even had to make a plea to the president to not release migrants into our community because of the winter storm that took effect over our community.
You on May 5th, let's play this. This was your first plea. And I think actually was this from February when you originally said this? Yeah, go ahead and play this.
Mr. President, my name is Bruno Lozano, Mayor of the City of Del Rio, Texas, and I am pleading and requesting with you to please put a halt to any measures regarding the release of immigrants awaiting court dates into the City of Del Rio and surrounding areas. We do not have the resources available to house and accommodate these migrants within our community. I will have no choice but to use the extreme measure under the emergency declaration as the mayor of the City of Del Rio, Texas, to refuse the entry of migrants awaiting court dates into the City of Del Rio. If you do send these individuals into our community, we will be forced to make a decision to leave them without resources under these dire circumstances. I am asking to please stop. Please make another plan for this federal issue.
Okay, now so people know, you're not a guy that's after, Biden or anything else. You're a Democrat. You were elected as a Democrat. You're just trying to protect your American citizens, whether they're Republican or Democrat, that you were elected to help and serve. So this is not a political issue. So they did release people. How many people live in your town, and how many people now have you grown to because of the illegal immigration problem?
Well, we have 36,000 residents here in the City of Del Rio and 50,000 in the county. And we get an upwards of, 150 a day. I think the average or the expectation was that there was going to be 35,000 total in about a 4-week period. Those numbers were given to us in February. That's the expectations that we're going to have of transient population transiting the community in total. Mm-hmm. So
wait a minute. 50,000 people in the county, 30,000 in Del Rio, and you're expecting 35,000 immigrants to come in?
Correct. So the migrants do come in. They get dropped off at the Valerie Humanitarian Coalition, and that's where we process, 150 a day or what have you. The remaining persons get dropped off in Eagle Pass, Texas, or Carrizo Springs, Texas, and are processed throughout the entire area. But this community alone, the Border Patrol Chief Skirl told me back in February that we're expecting to get 35,000 within 3 to 4 weeks. That was given to me back in February during that week that I made that video plea. So we're pretty close. I mean, they're detaining an average of 700 a day right now, the last 7-day average.
So you have equal number of illegals to the population. How are you expected to deal with this? What is that doing to your community?
That's exactly the biggest question that I have, is that where's the funding? Well, how am I supposed to fund an influx of the population of Del Rio with a budget of only what we have? Our tax-paying citizens are only 35,000 individuals. That's 11,000 roughly, give or so, households that we can tax it's just mind-boggling, the statistics and what's happening, and yet the administration continues to just ignore the problem and not acknowledge the fact that it's an absolute humanitarian crisis.
I liked what you said just recently. You said, I don't want to demonize any group of individuals. I don't want to, I'm not going to comment on the humanitarian crisis of the migrants. I don't want to get involved in that. I'm just talking about the whole humanitarian crisis here that involves other people as well. We can't help people if there's not an orderly influx. If you don't go through the right doors and you overwhelm America and towns like yours, you can't survive to be a help.
Right. That's exactly the problem, is that we cannot sustain this at all. And, every migrant has their own unique story, their own situation, and their own reason for coming into the United States of America. And I don't want to demonize them by any means, but, how can you sit here and tell me that the Border Patrol is not treating them humanely when you have mothers, getting their children to cross across a dangerous river, in inclement weather and, drowning? How is that any more humane than what the Border Patrol is trying to provide? The Border Patrol is just doing the directive and following the directives that are given by the Department of Homeland Security, and that direction is coming right now under Secretary Mayorkas, and this is what's happening. There is no plan of action, and it's extremely unfortunate that we're losing lives on both sides. We're losing lives for the migrants crossing. We had a high-speed chase a couple weeks ago where we lost eight illegal immigrants, and it's mind-boggling.
So what is the White House or anybody saying nationally?
Well, the first response that I got from one of the individuals that's up there with the White House, she told me, Miss Julie Rodriguez, that they inherited a problem or a dismantling of immigration from the Trump administration, which some may argue that's true, that's not, but it's been a couple of months that they've been in office. Well, where's the plan? Where's the recovery? Where's the long-term solution? Where's the short-term solution?
Well, wait a minute. Wait. I just have to correct that. If you inherited a problem, you didn't inherit this problem. You inherited what you thought was a problem of being inhumane, and so you dismantled it. So you caused the problem because you didn't have another plan other than open it up.
Exactly. And that's exactly the frustration, is that, you have on one hand, you have the extension of COVID-19 restrictions. You can't enter lawfully. Visa holding Mexican nationals cannot visit their family, cannot shop in our communities because of COVID-19 restrictions. And they've extended that through April 21st. Yet on that same hand, you have unlawful entry happening. How can you sit here and tell me that that's the previous administration's, problem? This is their problem. They were elected to do a job, and they need to stand up and start doing it. We need action now. We need to get these borders secure, and we need to open up business and commerce to the border town communities so that we can get our economies back in order.
So how can we help you? First, before I ask you that, has the state reached out? Anybody from the governor's office? Is the state of Texas doing anything to help you?
I appreciate the state's effort. I know that they were trying to help, with testing at one point, and which I appreciate. But I sit there with Governor Abbott. This is not a state or local issue. This is a federal issue.
I agree.
And I firmly believe that the federal government needs to take more action and come in and be actually present along the border. We're getting FEMA response finally. We're getting some testing is finally being done under the Department of Homeland Security's directive. But at the same time, it's like you need to come down and actually send your people to mitigate all of this. This is not the city of Del Rio's issue. This is a
federal
naturalization process issue. It's a federal issue, absolutely.
Yeah. So is there anything that we can do to help you?
I think just ensuring that the story gets out and that, that there is transparency happening. I think that's one of the biggest, ways that we can resolve and find solutions to this problem. This has been an ongoing issue for decades, and it's going to continue until we face it head on. But we need to be transparent while we're doing that. You can't not call it a crisis, for one thing. It is a crisis.
So
it's a humanitarian crisis.
can you tell me, because I don't have a clear picture on, is life normal for the average Del Rian that is conducting their life? Is it do they have access to the things they need? I mean, I'm hearing about huge lines at, for food, but that might be the relief food. What is the average life like?
Initially, there was a huge during the winter storm that you couldn't get food during the winter storm, and since that winter storm has passed,
Wow.
Life has gone back to normal a little bit. But the main concern now is just the security of the border community. I mean, we're a safe, small, sleepy town. We know each other. We know each other. We say hi to each other at the grocery stores, things like that. And now I have concerns. I have small business owners, like a photographer. She's trying to conduct business at the creek at our city park, and she's fearful that she's going to be robbed because she has migrants coming up to her and asking her for money and for food. And how secure is that? I have a duty to protect my community, and I have the transient population coming through our municipal areas and parks. It's not safe.
Bruno, I have to tell you, I admire you. I admire the take that you have and the brave stand that you're making. Especially, I know what the world is like today. You're either part of the team or you're not part of the team, and that is killing us.
I agree.
So I admire that. Please keep my phone number. If there is anything that we can do for you, you have a large charity arm, anything we can do to help the citizens of Del Rio weather this, you please let us know.
I will. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You
I
bet.
appreciate you having me on and sharing the story of what's happening along the border.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
You bet.